You learn a new word. Maybe you heard it in a conversation or read it somewhere and you had to look it up. And then, within a day or two, that exact word showed up again and again and again. In a book you were already reading, in a podcast, in something a stranger says on the train. And you think, is this a coincidence? Did that word just get popular overnight? Is the universe trying to tell me something? No, your brain is lying to you. Specifically, it's doing something called the Baader-Meinhof effect. And once you know what it is and how it works, you will never look at your own perception same way again. Because the Baader-Meinhof effect is not just about words and cars, it's about the fact that the reality you experience every day is not reality. It is a filtered version of reality, constructed by your brain, for you, with your permission. Let's start with the name, because the name itself is a perfect demonstration of the effect. In 1994, a reader posted a comment on an online forum for the St. Paul Pioneers Press newspaper in Minnesota. He described something strange that had happened to him. He had just heard about Baader-Meinhof Group, a West German militant organization that was active in the 1970s for the first time in his life. And then within 24 hours, he encountered references to the Baader-Meinhof Group a second time, completely independently. It felt uncanny, too strange to be coincidence. He wrote about it. People related to it immediately. The name stuck. And here's the irony that makes this effect almost self-aware. As more and more people learned the term Baader-Meinhof effect, they started noticing references to it everywhere. In articles, in podcasts, in conversations, they were experiencing the Baader-Meinhof effect about the Baader-Meinhof effect. And the scientific name is the frequency illusion, coined by Stanford University linguistics professor Arnold Schwisky in 2006. And his definition is simple. Something you have recently learned or noticed appears to suddenly be everywhere, not because it has become more common, because you have changed. To understand why Baader-Meinhof effect happens, you need to understand one number. Your brain processes approximately 11 million bits of sensory information every single second. Sight, sound, touch, smell, temperature. Proprioception, the sense of where your body is in space. All of it constantly, simultaneously. 11 million bits per second. Your conscious awareness handles approximately 50 bits per second. That means that at any given moment, you're consciously aware of less than half of thousandths of a percent of what your brain is actually processing. So how does your brain decide what it makes it into that 50? The job belongs to a structure deep inside the brainstem called the reticular activating system, or RAS. The RAS is essentially your brain's bouncer. It stands at the door of your conscious mind and decides what gets in and what gets filtered out. It prioritizes three things: what is new and novel, what is emotionally significant, and what is relevant to your current goals. And this is where the Baader-Meinhof effect begins. The moment you learn something new, a word, a car, model, an idea, your RAS flags it. It marks it as relevant. It updates its filter. And from that moment on, every time that thing appears in your environment, even if it was always there, your RAS lets you through to your conscious mind. The word didn't suddenly become more common. Your bouncer just started letting it in. Interesting, huh? But selective attention is only the first trick your brain plays. Once you start noticing the thing, the word, the car, the idea, your brain immediately starts doing something else. It starts keeping score. Every time you see the thing, your brain locks it as evidence. Every sighting feels meaningful. Every appearance reinforces the feeling that it's generally more common now. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. The brain's tendency to notice and remember evidence that confirms what it already believes, and to ignore or discount evidence that contradicts it. So in a week after you learn the word defenestration, the act of throwing something out of a window, your brain notices 3 uses of it. What your brain does not notice, the 500 other words it encountered that week that weren't defenestration. The countless conversations that didn't include it, the books and articles where it didn't appear. You notice the hits. You ignore the misses, and that creates the overwhelmingly feeling that The word is everywhere. Together, selective attention and confirmation bias form a loop. Attention creates the sightings, confirmation bias makes the sightings feel like proof. The proof reinforces the attention, and the loop runs on its own, completely outside your conscious control. Your brain built a narrative, and it did it without asking you. The most classic example of this is the new car effect. You're in the market for a car, you've narrowed it down to a specific model, let's say a dark green Honda Civic. You've never particularly noticed dark green Civics on the road before. The day after you decide that's what you want, they're everywhere. Parked on your street, in the car park at work, passing you on the motorway. It feels like the world is confirming your choice. But dark green Civics were always on the road. In the same numbers, your ads just wasn't tagging them as relevant before you decided they mattered. It works for almost anything. Pregnant people suddenly notice other pregnant people everywhere. Someone who breaks their wrist notices everyone else in a cast. You hear a song for the very first time, and then it plays on the radio twice that week. You read about a psychological concept, and then it appears in 3 different conversations. And then there is a deeply recursive version that is almost too on the nose. After watching this video in the next few days, you will almost certainly notice the Baader-Meinhof effect happening to you in real time. You'll recognize it, and every time you recognize it, you will notice it more. Or will make you think it's more common, which is the Baader-Meinhof effect, about the Baader-Meinhof effect. About the Baader-Meinhof effect. Your brain is doing this right now. It has been doing it their entire life. You just haven't given it a name for it until 60 seconds ago. Here's the part that sits with you. The Baader-Meinhof effect is not just a quirky brain trick. It's evidence of something more significant. The world you experience, the more you see, hear, notice, and remember, is not the world as it is. It's the world as your brain has decided to show it to you, filtered, curated, shaped by what your RAS has decided is relevant based on your history, your goals, your recent experiences. 2 people can walk through the same street and have completely different experiences of it. An architect notices the buildings, a parent notices the children, a chef notices the restaurants, a grieving person notices things that remind them of the person they lost. Same streets, same reality, completely different worlds. This happens that when you and another person disagree about what a world is like, what's common, what's rare, what matters, what's threatening, you may both be completely sincere, and you may both be completely wrong, because neither of you is seeing the world. You are each seeing your brain's best guess at the world, filtered through everything that has ever mattered to you. The Baader-Meinhof effect is the name we give to the moments when we catch the filter slipping, when we notice the brain doing its thing just for a second before it disappears back into the background and the illusion of reality resumes. The Baader-Meinhof effect, 2 cognitive systems, selective attention and confirmation bias, working together to make you experience a reality that is shaped entirely by what you have recently paid attention to. Your brain does processes 11 million bits per second. You get 50. The other 10,999,950 gone, filtered, invincible, as if they never existed. Now here's your warning. For the next 3 to 5 days, you're going to notice the Baader-Meinhof effect happening to you constantly. Every time you notice it, remember the world did not change. Your filter changed. Your brain does a lot of things like this, things you don't know about, happening constantly, shaping everything you think you see. That's what this channel is for, one strange truth at a time. See you on the next one.